Do you want to step up your video editing game? Well, I'm here to help. My name's Comfy, and what you're about to watch is an edited down version of a 3-hour workshop I streamed, where a bunch of creators sent in their best shorts so I could give my advice on how to improve them. And boy, did I get a lot of submissions. I'd love to make this a regular thing on this channel, so if you have any videos you'd like me to review, please leave them in the comments below, and you might be featured in a future workshop stream. Alright, I've rambled long enough. Let's not waste any time. We have some ground rules here for what we're about to kind of do, right? So I had a lot of submissions. I had like way more submissions than I thought that I would. So this isn't representative of everything I got sent in. Thank you for the biddies. Some of them, like there's not a lot of things on here that are kind of like TikTok trend style videos. So that's kind of one, because there's not a lot that the advice for like TikTok trend kind of things is like very different than the rest of it, so I didn't feel like there'd be a lot for me to sort of talk about in that. It's like just do the trend, but add your own spin to it is like all the advice I can ever give for those. You know what I mean? Secondly, the whole point of this is for constructive criticism. Constructive criticism. We are not here to say like, hey, this video is bad, here's how we make it good. No, no, no. All we're trying to do is see how we can improve everything that we have in front of us. So everything is to help, and I think that that's very important. This is all for everybody's benefit, so it doesn't benefit any of us to just like dunk on some shorts, you know what I mean? And third and most importantly, this is all just like my opinion, man. So if you know, feel differently than I feel about a certain piece of advice or a certain tweak that I have decided upon, that's okay. I am not the arbiter of what is good and what is not good, but we're just gonna kind of work and see what we can do to improve all these. And we'll just go until we either run out of time or we finish off everything in this timeline. So we'll see. So we're gonna just kind of watch these, and then we'll kind of I'll give my sort of advice. So this first one is from Ludicuslimes. This one comes from TikTok.
What do you mean I can't have heavy artillery? Can I have my arms at least then?
You have arms. You have little kitty arms. You don't need big robot arms.
What about a trebuchet?
Maybe. Maybe a trebuchet. Maybe.
Ballista?
No ballista! Why do you need siege weapons?
All right, I think that was pretty good. We're gonna make this its own little sequence now. All right, the short made me laugh. 8 out of 10. I've like watched them all already, so if I'm not laughing directly, then that's because I already know the punchline. So there's a lot of things about this that I like. I like the I think that the font is nice and clean, easy to read. I like that the text changes colors for the text-to-speech cat and the VTuber. And I think it has a good sort of flow as far as like having an entire arc of a joke. It's like, hey, this cat wants weapons. We just keep expanding on that. Like, what about this? What about a bigger weapon? What about a crazier weapon? And then it ends with, you know, why do you need siege weapons? You're just a cat. That's all very funny, right? I think for me, really, that the best way to tweak this video is there are some parts that kind of felt a little long. Like they kind of if they were snappier, I think it would improve sort of the comedy of it. So we're gonna kind of just like do that, you know. We're gonna kind of see about tightening this up and see what that might look like. Now, of course, everything's already baked in. This is gonna be true for everything that we're looking at today, but so I can't move the text around or anything like that, obviously, but we're gonna do our best. So we have this little there's like this little I think it's Ludicrous speaking, and so we have 10 entire frames of just sort of nothing yet happening. We get to see the cat, but honestly, I feel like you can start right up on here, like in a general sense. So we're gonna delete those first 10 frames.
What do you mean
And then you're a little less confused by that opening sound of dialogue from the not cat, and because we stand cats here, and And then we just get right into it. We start right when the text starts.
What do you mean I can't have heavy artillery? Can I have my arms at least then?
You have...
I'm a big proponent of just, like, if you can avoid having dead air, just at any point, like, do it. And the best way to kind of mask that up is with zooms and things. So right here,
Can't have heavy artillery.
I can't have heavy artillery. We're gonna just stop. I can see that the speech stops like right there. So we're gonna cut there. And then he sighs a little bit. So we're gonna, yeah, I think it's like right here. So we're gonna kind of do, I always get the names of these confused. There's J cuts and L cuts. This is something that I always do to really just extra tighten up the dialogue bit. So we're going to lower this over and then kind of drag the whole thing over. Just by like a couple frames. So now we're just going to make a cut here where the scene changes. I'm also going to select all and Control L to delink everything so that I can just cut this and not the audio, just so I have a better visual indicator on what I'm like doing here. Going from here to here now.
Can I have my arm?
Maybe it's not obvious there's a cut. Maybe that's just fine. But just in a general sense, like, people like that are watching shorts have just zero. You have to assume they have just zero attention span. So doing things like just adding a zoom, like a punch in, can be really good. So now if we kind of just like zoom this in, we'll kind of center the cat. And then the you know, the words wouldn't be this big if we had the full power at our arsenals here. But so now it looks something more like this.
Can I have my arms at least then?
So now it's like, now we've just included some more like visual dynamics, I guess. There's a better word for that. But
can I have my arms at least then?
You have arms. You have little kitty arms. You don't need big robot arms.
So I think the same thing here, and then we can kind of like, there's kind of like this bit of dead air in between these two lines.
Little kitty arms.
So we're gonna kind of cut this, but then we're gonna sell this joke a little more with zooms. So we're gonna find the end here. We're gonna cut this. We'll pull this aside for the moment. So we're gonna do a small punch in. Since each of these words has been broken up, like you don't need big robot arms. I think it would be funny. So we're gonna kind of like make a cut everywhere that a new word starts. So now that that's done, we're going to kind of punch in like a little bit. And then we'll make sure that they are centered at each one of these. So we can copy, in Premiere you can copy the motion and like paste it into this. So now I know exactly, like we can zoom in a little more. Just a little more. We can copy that, paste it here, zoom in even farther. Copy, paste, and then zoom in all the way. When I'm done, can I do a side-by-side? Yeah, I can do that, absolutely.
Arms. You don't need big robot arms.
Now, the last thing, I think, to sell this, I actually forgot to import my stable of sound effects. So we're going to drag and drop that in. These are like all my sound effects that I've kind of curated over time. Some of these come from subscription websites like Motion Array, but a lot of them are honestly just from like YouTube. And I've kind of gone through and made sure that they're like leveled properly, and they, you know, I can just click and drag for the vast majority. They're not 100% perfect, but the vast majority of these are like ready to drag and drop because I've like put in the work to do that. So I think what would really sell this now is just a little bit of sound effect work. So I have a bunch of hits. I'm going to type in hit here, and then I have all these slap hits. So we have things like, we have these kind of things, right? So we kind of, I think we're going to start with a light slap. The slap hits are good. And then we're going to end on a heavy slap. And then now we have 4 different slapperooskies. So we can see that the video line here, the only thing that I don't like about these slaps is that you kind of have to ramp into them. So I typically have to kind of adjust them in the right spot, which would be easier if they just started at the beginning. But that's okay, because it works. All right, let's see what this looks like.
Arms. You don't need big robot arms.
So that's pretty good. They're a little loud. So we're gonna kind of just do the cheapy. We're gonna lower these rubber bands here. Woo! Woo! See that?
Kitty arms. You don't need big robot arms.
So I don't know if this is gonna be funnier if the cat waits a sec to respond or not. So we're gonna see what it looks like.
Robot arms.
What about a trebuchet?
Yeah, I think.
You don't need big robot arms.
What about a trebuchet?
Maybe.
So I think we're gonna cut that right there. My only thing with this, I think that the pause is good. I think it's maybe a little bit too long, but we can also do something visually interesting with it if we did want to keep it this long. So for this sort of thing, a lot of times like the sort of answers on how to make something a little more visually interesting is like just super easy, simple stuff that doesn't require a lot of you know, timing and all that. And then if we wanted to keep it this length, so we do the position and scale, we set those keyframes right here, and then we're gonna end it right there. Pull this out a little bit. And we're gonna have this real slow zoom all the way onto their face. So then we just see what this looks like.
Maybe.
And then with the zoom out, it also makes it pretty funny.
Maybe a trebuchet.
And then honestly, I'm gonna just say that I don't know if we even need this first maybe. You know what I mean? Like
Maybe a trebuchet. Maybe.
Ballista?
Maybe.
And then kind of the same sort of stuff. It's also thinking of the zoom effect. Hell yeah. Because that kind of stuff is just like, and you know, if we really wanted to, like, I think, like, putting, like, the buffering, thing on his head, you know, that would be, like, a good thing. You know, we could do that, honestly. What if we, wait, let's do that. I'm gonna just make a bin. Assets. We're gonna drag this guy over. Nope. Was that the right spot? It was. Hell yeah. Wow. I love the buffering gif. So use the slap to enunciate the zoom ins. Yeah, in this instance, I think that works. But a lot of times, like, depending on what is happening, it could be any number of sound effects. Like, I'm a real big fan of the bamboo. Like, I have 4 different. I have this. This is the regular sound effect, but I have 3 other versions that are pitch shifted down. So, like, if we're doing a series of things or across the whole short, sometimes, like, it's like we start off with the first one, and then as things get more and more ridiculous, we, like, lower the pitch of it. And that's very funny to me. You're loving this stream. I'm so glad. I would love to do more of these. We're only one video in. I've undone the zoom because I'm gonna also, this is a good time to kind of show you about nesting and how cool nesting can be. So we're gonna position this where we want it to go. And then we can, if we hold down Alt and click and drag, it'll just make copies. So we're gonna kind of do this the whole way through. Sometimes you can copy and paste, but it often, I feel like they recently changed the rules on how copying and pasting like works, which is good. But I'm so used to the old rules that I don't typically copy and paste things anymore. I guess it'll keep it on the same layer, even if you have this turned off. It used to be that like whatever the lowest one of these that was checked in, it would paste it there, but I guess they've changed it, so I can get used to that. You can nest sequences and save them. You can put them in another project. Yeah, it'll just copy over all of the relevant files into the other project. Okay, well, we're gonna do some like extreme nesting. I'm gonna copy the motion and paste it on here. We're gonna nest this guy first. We're going real deep into this first one. So now it's just one big thing, and that means that we can, since it just loops, that's okay. So now we can kind of like make sure that it stays centered on their head. We're gonna do a real kind of slapdash job of it, but Make another one there and there. We're not adjusting the scale, but I kind of always... I feel like sometimes later on, I'm like, ooh, I did want to adjust the scale, and then I don't have a keyframe set for it. Okay, so now it should pretty loosely kind of follow it. If you want to get real crazy, you can track things in After Effects, but you know, I try to stay out of After Effects as much as possible. So now that this is set up like that, we're gonna just nest it all again. So now we're gonna nest this guy and the video clip. And we're going to nest those. And the reason that we're doing that is now it's going to be real simple to, once this pops up, we're going to start this keyframe. And then we'll just put this near the end. Zoom in. I do my best to obey the rule of thirds here with like eye placement and things. And now it moves both things. So that is why nesting is like the best thing in the universe, because it saves you so much time. It's just a really easy way to do. The only thing that sucks about nested sequences is that like after I make like 1 million of them, they're their own sequences, right? So like they start to clutter up your project, but you can just hide them. You can just put them away. You can just sneak them. Oh yeah, lettuce! I love it. Thank you. So there's also this is another big point about shorts. I don't know how weighted this is anymore. It used to be for a very long time on TikTok. They have a few metrics. And I assume all of the other YouTube and Instagram Reels and all that, I'm sure they follow the same kind of things. But one of those things is a video completion metric. Did they finish your whole video? And then there's also watch percentage, because they know most people aren't going to watch most videos, just across the board, regardless of how good or bad your content is. So once your video's over, end it, you know? So, we have this little bit of, it's not much, but it's a little bit of dead space.
Siege weapons.
We're just going to end it right here. We don't need these, you know, this is like half a second, something like that.
Why do you need siege weapons?
And then it just ends. We're going to cut this part right until we get here. And now I'm going to zoom in. This one's going to be I'm going to cheat a little bit. I have a preset for shakes in my effects thing. So if I type in shake here, I have a lot of different ones that I use like all the time. And I got those from Motion Array. But I'm sure there's like other places around that you can get similar presets like this. Because they're just like somebody went in, made a bunch of changes, and like made a preset. We're gonna zoom in, and then the only thing about these is that like they don't like it if you they want a clean clip to work on, so I'll always just nest them so that you'll see like if I don't nest it, since I've zoomed it in, it's gonna like unzoom it because it's messing with the default position and rotation for this effect. So, but if we nest it, then that doesn't matter.
Why do you need siege weapons?
And so like this on its own isn't that's not shaky enough. So how about this?
Why do you need siege weapons?
Yeah, I think that's good. And I also see that he kind of goes out, so we're gonna track it so that when he moves over, we follow him inside the nest. You can still mess with the stuff inside the nest after you make it.
Why do you need siege weapons?
And then they never go out of frame, right? And then I think to really sell this, we have a static sound effect. This is like the meme static, that thing, right? So we can kind of like we're gonna kind of loop it a little bit so that I feel like this usually comes in a little too loud. So
No molesta. Why do you need siege weapons?
that didn't take us that long, right? To do all that. So let's go back to the original. Goonsling wanted a side-by-side, so here we go again. This is what we started with.
What do you mean I can't have heavy artillery? Can I have my arms at least then?
You have arms. You have little kitty arms. You don't need big robot arms.
What about a trebuchet?
Maybe. Maybe a trebuchet. Maybe.
Ballista?
No ballista. Why do you need siege weapons?
And then we'll watch the one that I put together.
What do you mean I can't have heavy artillery? Can I have my arms at least then?
You have arms. You have little kitty arms.
It's like doubling up. Is that a me problem?
Then?
You have arms. You have little kitty arms. You don't need big robot arms.
What about a trebuchet?
Maybe a trebuchet. Maybe.
Ballista?
No ballista. Why do you need siege weapons?
So it's just a little snappier. We're kind of we're making it a little more visually dynamic with zooms and things and just kind of little visual effects. The only graphic we included was like this little, the buffering thing, which I just found easy free. I know that exists because I re-download it all the time. But like, we didn't even get into anything about like, I don't know, we'll watch, we could insert like big robot arm, like a picture of a cat with big robot arms here, like if we wanted to get real intense with it, you know what I mean? That was really good in my opinion, but your editing made it better. Thank you. So that's what I'm hoping we're gonna do this whole time. We're just gonna like, I'm gonna show you kind of quick and easy things that I would do to like just tighten up a lot of these. Hi, hello, quick break so I can humbly ask you to hit that like button for me if you're enjoying this video. It's free and it helps me out a ton. Thank you. What kind of naming conventions do you use for sound effects? I think, so it's just what I'm gonna remember. So for me, you'll see if I type in bamboo. So this is the I showed this a second ago. I use this all the time. It's so useful. But just so that I remember, I also have a lot of these other things that I've just named bamboo because sometimes it doesn't matter. So these are all different things. Like some of these are SpongeBob, but it's just like a lot of random sound effects that like maybe I just need a sound effect. It doesn't really matter what the sound effect is. And so I've named those bamboo. That's just for me, however. So this is just like a whole array of kind of pops and bangs and things. We have like sometimes like I just like putting a sound effect when we make a scene transition. There's a lot of this kind of thing. We have I have a bunch that are called NSFW. Because, like, I think the intent of a lot of these sounds, and stay with me here, but the intent of a lot of these sounds is sort of like anime lewdness, you know what I mean? So we have things like, it's a lot of, like, this kind of sound effect. These, like, kind of wobbles and warbles. And they're just, like, nice sound effects that, like, that just work for so many different things. But I've named them this since that's a thing I can remember. Just whatever you'll remember. We have a lot of Mario falling. Because the idea is, like, you don't want to have to be searching through all of these sounds. Because this is, like, a lot of crap, right? So, like, it's like, oh, okay, I know I have a Mario sound effect. We have Mario die, Mario coin, this bump I use all the time. But you get the idea. That's sort of a long answer on... I don't have any set way that I name them, except that it's just something that you're gonna remember easily. All right, so next we have, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, but this is from Sakura Masoki on TikTok. This one's pretty interesting.
So some choices were made today on the Niji-sanji red carpet, and they are a strong choice. For all intents and purposes, I want to clarify that this outfit is not bad. The main problem is though with the styling. There is no clear goal on what this outfit is meant to express. The hoodie looks like a pajama, the jacket makes it streetwear, and I don't know what's up with those. I understand more or less what she's going for. The top is comfy vibes, you know, the kind of thing that you wear all day in your house, and then you slip on a jacket when you need to go to Walmart. Cowboy boots, however, don't really get along with that. There is not a lot to this outfit, so every detail counts. Instead, let's try some camel print Uggs, and some black socks for the cold, and boom! What do you think?
So I like a lot about that one as well. I like how fast all these graphics come up. I like that it's like a whole story, and then we end on the finale, as it were, where they did a whole redesign of this VTuber's outfit, right? The things that I don't like so much are... So there are some of these lines, some of the dialogue, I should say, is represented with captions, but not all of it. And then on top of that, there's a lot of text that's like additional. So it's a little confusing for me to follow along because sometimes I'm following along with the spoken words and then sometimes it's like a note to read that isn't the spoken words. Like, I feel like I always say that your shorts should always 100% of the time have captions on them. But if they're not going to have captions, then like keep it consistent, I guess. With YouTube videos, the rules are different where like you can put some captions on like key points because the whole video is like 8 minutes long, and that's really more of a move to like retain your attention than like because people are watching TikTok on the toilet, you know what I mean? So I think for me it's like having the captions just be on or off, and then not really having a lot of other text on the screen is like what I would be looking for. And then I think in a general sense, like that's the main thing for this one. Everything else I like a lot on this. I think maybe that I have the next one up for this same creator as well. So maybe we'll just watch the second one because I have a critique on this one as well.
This is my entry to Iron Mouse's outfit design contest. Finding something that Mousy hasn't worn yet is like finding a career that Barbie has not majored in. Not impossible, but at some point you gotta start getting creative. Anyway, dealing with someone who has a closet as big as Barbara Millicent Roberts was intimidating to say the least. All her models cover a wide range of styles, from punk rock to angelic to whatever this is. So I decided to take a different approach to Lolita fashion, to bring it back to its original inspo, Victorian and Rococo era ball gown dresses. I love to design and I went through hell doing this, but I am glad that I got the chance to do something for her.
So this is the same kind of thing. I like a lot about this. I like how snappy it is. I like the jokes. Pacing feels good. For me, the biggest issue with this is that having the time lapse of the art in the background is like incredibly distracting for me. It's just like there's just too much happening on screen with this moving around as much as it is. However, I think the very easy fix for this is like I can't really make it happen, but like, you know, say for example, like if we were able to do something like throughout the whole video, say if we're going to shrink this guy down. I'm going to add a crop filter to this. We're just going to sort of pretend that, like, this would be the right aspect ratio, right? And so, like, if we had a speed art at either the top or the bottom the whole time, and then that's just going from start to finish throughout the entire short.
This is my entry to Iron Mouse's
I slowed it down so, you know, whatever. But you sort of get the idea, right? So, like, all of the jokes, all the gags are like happening kind of like in this bottom portion, or even like, you know, like if it was like from a regular 1920 by 1080, like a 9 by 16, it would probably be more like this. And then stuff's happening underneath. The Subway Surfer trick, yes, the slime, the sand cutting, all that good stuff. But it's not bullshit this time, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, I made all parts of this content. Here you go, a feast for the eyes. And I think that, like, that one simple adjustment would help this dramatically. And then, you know, if, like, something really needs to sell the joke, like this can cover up the whole screen for, like, a sec, you know what I mean?
Whatever this is.
Like, I think that's very funny, right? But just having it in the background is so distracting for me. So for these ones, like, that's really kind of like the big adjustment that I would make. This one, kind of less so, but it's still kind of got the same thing. There is the drawing in the background, but I think having it sort of be on the top or the bottom instead of behind is really, like, the main thing. This one's way less distracting because it's just a sketch. So it doesn't really, like, it feels like okay in this one, but those are my thoughts on these ones. Any questions, class? Questions? Hey, you in the back? Questions? All right, so this one is from Erebus Bandit on TikTok. This has been rad so far. I'm so glad you're having a good time. It's been an hour almost. I can't believe it.
Jasper, I swear to God, if you ate my f***ing mask again, I'm going to turn you into a damn dining room table. Where the hell is it? Nope. Not that. Let's see. Nope, not that. Nope, that's a Dragon Ball. Oh wait, nope, that's the wrong kind of mask. Definitely don't want to wear that one. Get that out of here. Okay, wait, no, I found it. Alright, they're gonna be here any minute now, and like I can't afford to just, like, be late to my own debut, okay? That would not be a good look. They're gonna be here any... Why the f*** are you here so early?
So this one, again, this is going to be an issue of, like, just stuff just drags too long, I think. Let's just tighten this guy up. Because I think the joke is pretty solid. He's got a mimic that is his pet.
And I'm going to turn you into a damn...
I don't know why. I feel like I'm having, like, this doubling up issue. I think it's just because I'm streaming and recording. I think my computer is just powerful enough to mostly do all the things I'm asking it to do. I want to add a sound effect here, so we...
I do that.
So we have kind of like, these SpongeBob sound effects are good. There's kind of like blinking ones. So like maybe something like this. For the eyes opening, just a sound effect to kind of capitalize on this.
Damn dining room table.
We can zoom in here, sell this bit a little bit. And we can cut immediately to...
Nope. Not that.
Nope, not that. We don't need all this empty space. Nope, not that.
Nope, that's a Dragon Ball.
I'm even gonna cut out these I think.
Nope. Not that. Let's see. Nope. Not that. Let's see. Nope. Nope. Not that. Nope. Not that. Nope, that's a Dragon Ball. Oh wait. Nope. Nope. That's the. Wait, hold on. Oh wait. Nope.
I'm gonna zoom in on this guy a little bit, even though there's nothing happening, like, visually on screen. I would like to zoom in on this sound effect also. I feel like that is funny. Zoom-ins can just, I don't know, they just make things funny.
Okay, that would not be a good look. They're gonna be here any.
And then,
They're
honestly,
gonna be here any.
cutting out this...
You okay? That would not be a good look. They're gonna be here any.
Cutting out this little gap, I think, also
Good look.
improves
They're gonna be
the...
here any. They're gonna be here any.
Like, that's like a little bit funnier. And then we save the look around.
Why are you here so early?
Why are you here so early? Same as the last one, we're gonna... Once the dialogue is
Why are
over...
you here so early?
It's the moment that word is done, the video's over. So this is another real slapdash job. But just trimming this, I think. The text is, like, not 100% here. There's, like... Not all words are represented, so that's one thing, but the color on this text is a little hard to read. Like, this is... Even if I make this big for you guys, like, this isn't, like, the easiest thing to read in the world. You can add a stroke, if we go over to the graphics tab, let's make it, like, a nice... Well, let's make it, like, a thing. Actually, no, we'll make it... We'll make it, like, a font that's not the easiest to read. Let's actually just make this narrow. Just so I can kind of show you guys. So, this isn't like... usually you want, like, a kind of a thick font. Like, the font they chose is very good. But if we fill it with white and stroke it with black... So, that's pretty good, but if you wanted to fill in... I sort of advise against this, right? Because that's kind of hard to read. You can add more strokes. It's so silly. You need to, like, highlight. I forget sometimes. You need to highlight the text when you're doing stuff like this. Otherwise, it's like, I don't know what you wanted. What did you want? Are you sure that's what you wanted? But then that's now... Just adding this white around it makes it significantly easier to read, even if the text inside is, like, very dark. Because, like, if we raise this up... do this like this, you know, like one of these two things you can read a lot better, even though this is like almost impossible to read even still, but it's improved a little bit. I would always advise making the inside text a light color. So light, then black, light, then dark, and then maybe another light on the outside. So we'll get rid of this text, though, and let's see what we got now.
Jasper, I swear to God, if you ate my f***ing mask again, I'm going to turn you into a damn dining room table. Where the hell is it? Nope. Not that. Nope. Not that. Nope, that's a Dragon Ball. Oh, wait. Nope. Nope, that's the wrong kind of mask.
Oh! We're doing a video editing workshop today, and I'm having a blast, let me tell you. I think I also want to add, like a bamboo here.
Oh, wait. Nope. Nope, that's the wrong...
All right, so I guess for the Raiders, yeah, we'll see. So this is the original.
Jasper, I swear to God, if you ate my f***ing mask again, I'm going
Models
to turn
are cute.
you
Thank
into
you.
a damn dining room table. Where the hell is it? Nope. Not that. Let's see. Nope, not that. Nope, that's a Dragon Ball. Oh wait, nope, that's the wrong kind of mask. Definitely don't want to wear that one. Get that out of here. Okay, wait, no, I found it. Found it. All right, they're gonna be here any minute now, and like I can't afford to just like be late to my own debut. Okay, that would not be a good look. They're gonna be here any. Why the fuck are you here so early?
All right, and then this is the retooled version.
Jasper, I swear to God, if you ate my mask again, I'm going to turn you into a damn dining room table. Where the hell is it? Nope. Not that. Nope. Not that. Nope, that's a Dragon Ball. Oh, wait. Nope, that's the wrong kind of mask. Definitely don't want to wear that one. Get that out of here. Okay, wait, no, I found it. Found it. All right, they're gonna be here any minute now, and like I can't afford to just like be late to my own debut. Okay, that would not be a good look. They're gonna be here any. Why the fuck are you here so early?
So it's just real easy, simple things that we can do to kind of tighten these up, right? I think there's a lot, you know, we could get a little wilder with this one, like adding more zooms, even tightening it up more, but you kind of get the idea. It's wild how little things make a big difference. That I agree. It's like a lot of times like things are just like so close, but the amount, like the how do I say, the caliber of way that they are like not quite there yet makes a larger difference than like it should. All right, so we have two from Burrow. If they're still here, they're up next.
Look at them all. Look at them all. They're all so angry. They're all in a tiny little pack and they're so mad. Ah! If I hit one, will they all explode? Nice. What you gonna do about it, huh? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Okay.
So I think this one has a lot of good things going for it. So this one, like, I think in this very beginning, like, I think the struggle that you were probably dealing with is that, like, they weren't, these little guys, whatever these little guys are, like, weren't on your screen in a great way, so,
Look at them all.
you know, you're trying to, like, capture them as much as possible, but since this is the very beginning of the short, this is sort of the most crucial part, the most critical part of the whole thing. Because if people get bored in the first 3 seconds, they're gonna swipe away. So if they don't know, if people don't like know what they're in for, then it becomes sort of rough. I don't know kind of what footage you might have had that could have cheated this. Like maybe if you had like a clear shot of them like later on. Honestly, like it's the kind of thing where like maybe we just start the short here.
Look at them all. They're all so angry.
I also think, and this is just a personal preference thing, I like inserts, but sometimes for shorts, like the insert has to be pretty quick. This goes on just a touch too long for me. Like, I feel like we could end it right here, and it'll have the same effect. I might mess around with that for, let's see.
Angry. They're all so angry.
And then we want to get out of here, like, we want to cut right to this.
Look at them all. They're all so angry. They're all in a...
So I maybe it's just me, but I love, my favorite kind of humor is when things cut off too early, you know what I mean? So like,
they're all so angry. They're all in a tiny little pack and they're so mad. Ah!
and then we're gonna cut straight to, I know the music's not gonna match up at this point, but we kind of like,
So mad.
I have an idea here. I think if this is already funny, right? Like, you're just like being like a cute little Angie. I was worried the angry German clip was too long. It's like, I feel like my rule of thumb for just anything, even just like regular trimming or anything like that, it's like, does this work if I take it out? Let me try it. And then if it does, if it still makes sense, if it works, then just get rid of it. You don't need it. You know what I mean? It's just like, hey, I you know, a lot of times with scripts on shorts, it's like maybe they might be, I might get them and they're a little long, and so I have to decide like what what can I remove from this? And the whole short still makes sense. And then, you know, you just chip away from there. But I think the same thing holds true for like the gags and things. It's like, hey, how long does this need to be? Like, could it be shorter? Like, I just want to get the point across. I think this might not end up being as funny as I think it's going to be. I feel like if we zoom in for these like animal noise bits, and then just yeah. So and then we come back, and then it's like, nope, I'm not done. I'm making more noises. And then I think the end here, it's just like,
What you gonna do?
because they're coming at you here,
What
right?
gonna
Like
do?
you just got attacked, and then we just get out. And then I think that this is very good. I like this effect. So I think if we cut it off a little early. Coffee's Giga Chad. What Giga Chad? I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're all having a good time. Because I'm having a blast. This is fun. I love this. And then, honestly, I think for this with this sound effect, too, we can do a couple last things. We can zoom in. We don't have... This is a very, very short little bit, so we're not going to zoom in, like, a lot. But we're going to do this. And then we're also going to... I don't know that I need to do this. I'm going to nest it, though, just to make sure. We're going to do a warp wave. Or a wave warp, excuse me. And we're going to pop this on. That's going to be like way too much. Since it's the full clip, a lot of times I'll do this on text and things. But we can pin this, first of all, to all edges so that we don't have this, these like black spots at the top. If I redo that, then it gets rid of them. And then the warp, the width is always like really short, but if you kind of pull that out, then it's like you get something like this. And it's kind of hard to see, but it does kind of, you can't see the movement too much, but like you can see it on the model. So many things I can use to improve already. I'm so glad. Oh my goodness. So we'll watch these just back to back.
Look at them all. Look at them all. They're all so angry. They're all in a tiny little pack and they're so mad.
Headstigator, thank you for the raid. Welcome to my channel. We're doing a video editing workshop. Hello,
If
hello.
I hit one, will they all explode?
It's me.
Nice. What you gonna do about it, huh? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Okay.
Okay, so then this is the one that we've tightened up a little
Look
bit.
at them all. They're all so angry. They're all in a tiny little pack and they're so mad. If I hit one, will they all explode? What you gonna do about it, huh? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Okay.
So that's kind of that's the story wishbone on that one. I feel like, you know, again, as I'm saying at the end of all of these, like we're not doing like extensive changes to these. This is all pretty easy stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I say easy, it's not easy, but just like stuff that isn't like difficult to do or time consuming or anything like that. All right, the next one is also, this one's a lot shorter.
Everyone I know who plays Instagram is just like always in the air. Did I just say Instagram instead of Instaclave? Did I really just f***ing say that?
So that's a short little one, again, tied into the Monster Hunter thing. This one's like very good and funny already, and it doesn't require a small tightening up here. No, this could actually be, instead of a tightening up, I think that this could like, so one of my favorite GIFs. Hold on. This is just a small little GIF of like this guy. This GIF. This is one of my favorite.
Always in the air.
Huh? What? If we kind of cut that there's this small gap where not a lot is being said here. For a few short moments.
In the air.
So it could be this sort of a thing. It doesn't need to be so big like this necessarily, but just so that it shows up. Oh, shoot. Just so that it kind of shows up a little bit. It might make more sense just to cover your face with it. It's not like a good off to the side place, so I think this, just having it like dead center makes a little more sense.
It's always in the air.
And then everybody that understands, you know, like the Monster Hunter stuff is just like along for the ride with this gift. They're like, what?
Always in the air.
And then same thing here. It's like you don't need the gap here. Maybe there.
Did I just say Instagram?
And same deal, like I'm throwing this bamboo. I'm gonna write this bamboo sound effect in my will, you know what I mean?
Did I just say Instagram?
And then, you know, last but not least, like the captions don't run out to the end here, but you know, that's easy to fix. As I mentioned before, I feel like it's 100% captions or 0%, but always 100%. Would it be a mistake for it to just cover the whole screen? It wouldn't be. Like, you could do like a I think in that instance it would be more of an insert. And you'd want to make sure that you have like sound effects. Like, we're kind of like, it's in and out so fast. This is this 60? This is only a 30 frames sequence. It's up there for like just over 1/3 of a second. So if you did want to do something like that, I would suggest that we, oh, I guess I have this actually off by a frame.
Always in the air. It's in the air.
So like if we wanted to do something like this, we would we're just gonna cut this. We're gonna get that out of there. We're gonna push that over, pull that back in. This back one, we're gonna make it the full size of the screen. And then I have a preset that I made myself that's just like a low opacity blur. There's a lot of ways you could do this, but it's basically like a 50% opacity so that the background like is more dark, and a big old blur of what's back there, so that things, it kind of like whatever clip I want to use, and I use this all the time, especially in shorts, because you'll get like regular 1920 by 1080 clips that like need to be inserted here, and sometimes like you can't just zoom in to get all the different sides, so I have to like cheat it. So I'll zoom it out so that you can see a lot more of it in this section, but then I don't want just a bunch of black on the top and the bottom, so we have this thing in the background. So now for this one, if this is what we were doing, we would just like have a little slow zoom. And then I'm gonna actually now change this. So we're gonna make this bamboo 1, and then we're gonna change this one now to be bamboo 2. So you'll see.
In the air. Did I just say Instagram?
So then it's like, you know, pitch 1, pitch 2. They feel
Always
connected.
in the air.
And then if we wanted to get like, I feel like we could honestly get a lot crazier with this zoom.
In the air. In the
Yeah,
air.
that's good.
In the air.
And maybe this is even too long.
Always in the air. Always
Yeah,
in the
okay.
air.
I like that. I think that's pretty good. Just like a quick zoom. Maybe we can do a little J cut action here. Maybe even like a little shake. Yeah, just like it's barely noticeable, but we'll watch these side by side.
Everyone I know who plays Instagram is just like always in the air. Did I just say Instagram instead of Insectlave? Did I really just fucking say that? Everyone I know.
All right, and then this is the tooled up
Everyone
one.
I know who plays Instagram is just like always in the air. Did I just say Instagram instead of Insectlave? Did I really just fucking say that?
There we have it, baby. You like the zoom at the end? Hell yeah. I feel like simple things like that you can get so silly with, like a zoom or just a way too close up. Like even if we wanted to get like even like more ridiculous, you know, like if we I'll just re-nest this. And you can go in here and like unlock uniform scale, and then like if you wanted to, you know what I mean, like you can get real silly with it if you just want to like have a silly face, or like you know, a lot of times we do the Markiplier effect. You add a sphere eyes. This is more for like you know, if like I use this a lot if like we're bullying the streamer and it's like, oh, they're doing a dumb thing, like that kind of, they said a dumb thing. So this sort of thing, big brain. You know, like whatever, you know what I mean, stuff like this. All right, so this is from the Meg Mallow on TikTok.
Brother, it's impossible to get bullied by someone that isn't tall enough to touch my knees without jumping. Hello? Hello? I'm
Small baby.
speechless. What the
A small baby. Little baby.
I'm not, no, f you. I'm not.
Oh my god.
I'm not short.
All right, so I think the thing with this one, the main thing, is that like they have a fun little banter after this whole thing, but this whole thing is the beginning of the video, and it takes like 6 seconds to move or see anything different. They've done a good job here of like trying to highlight like a chat message, right? But I think in this, and then they move over like, hey, it's all part of the same scene. But I think that a better way to do that, in my humble opinion, is to do something like this. We're gonna kind of cheat this. But basically, like to have this kind of a thing. So we can, there's a few ways you can kind of do this. If you wanted to just crop the top off, and then you kind of have it moving down here. So you have something to look at, something that's moving, something that's happening, while...
Brother, it's impossible to get bullied by someone that isn't tall enough to touch my knees.
You see what I mean? Now there's something happening. We see that it's a VTuber thing. Even though the text is here on screen, it's like real little. So I would still suggest like captioning this part, like if you lowered this like a little bit, and then on the top here you could even if we put a lumetri color filter on here, for most effects that are like full screen kind of things, you have the option to create a mask on it. So you can create the round mask or a 4-point mask, so you can move them around, and right now it doesn't look like they're like doing a lot, you know. That is because we haven't done anything to the effect yet. All right, here we go. So we're gonna kind of box that in. And now on the lumetri color, we're gonna lower the exposure quite a bit. And so now you might be thinking, heck, that's incorrect. But you can invert the mask. So it's like you can have everything inside the mask or outside the mask be affected. So if you wanted to do something like this, you could certainly do that. So it's like, hey, like this is the part of the chat that we're focusing on. You can also add like keyframes to these. So if I wanted the mask path there, but I didn't want it to start there, you know what I mean? I can go back to the beginning. We can I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna actually just click on the thing that says mask 1. We'll pull this up, and then you can kind of just like stretch it out from here, and then in these 4 frames it'll zoom in, and that's kind of slapdash. Doesn't look like that good because there's like, you can see like this is crooked, but you know what I mean. So that's the kind of thing you can do. You can also, if you wanted to do a different kind of thing, let's just undo all that. You can just do an opacity one, and just kind of get the whole thing in there. And then if we put that on top, and then we like undo the crop here, this could easily just be the kind of thing where it's like, hey, here's the moneymaker, the VTuber model. I don't think you always need to start with your model or anything, but if your short starts and there's sort of like no movement, nothing happening, if we're just looking at a static screen for a little bit, people will just swipe away. How do I say? Like, people don't want to risk, like, spending the time on something that, like, they don't know if it's going to be funny. So if they're not hooked, like, immediately, I know it's like, it almost sounds cliche to say at this point, but, like, you got to hook them in the first, like, 5 seconds max. Algorithms put the hook time at 2.7. Yeah, it's something like that. Though, I feel like a lot of times, like, algorithms get sort of a bad rap as being the be-all, end-all, but algorithms can't work with, like, your videos have to kind of, like, be meeting a lot of these marks before the algorithm can even, like, think about it. And even if your video's good, sometimes, like, it just isn't gonna like go anywhere, and there's just and that is the algorithm's fault. But don't be disheartened because if you're making good videos, like they will get pushed out, and you just want to stack the deck in your favor, basically. So this one in particular, the other than that, it's mostly just trimming. But I think this beginning piece, it's like you have something like this, or you can just like have, you know, the chat, because sometimes like this isn't this isn't really that nice to look at. So like honestly, like it might be the kind of thing where you'd want to just like, maybe you have this up, but you could just, you know, type in the text and just put like chat first, and then say, hi, hello. What did chat say? Hi, hello. Hi, hello, I'm chat. You know, maybe chat's in a different color, etc., etc. So that's kind of like my big tip on that. We have the next one comes from Camilla VT over on YouTube.
Tips and tricks to sound cute when you're Pedro Pascal. Just add ooh at the end, but make sure you do a really cutesy high voice, like ooh, ooh.
We're gonna do some zooms and stuff here. So we're gonna trim, same as we've been doing. We're gonna kind of cut the beginning off. We have 7 frames of like nothing before the text shows up.
Tips and tricks to sound cute when you're Pedro Pascal.
Cut out this dead air and the breathing.
Just add ooh at the end.
Cut out here. So since this is a joke about our Lord and Savior Pedro Pascal, we're going to, I feel like, just a real quick zoom in to his little prop face here. Not the regular bamboo hit, but something like maybe like this. Like just sort of a noise like to punch in.
To sound cute when you're Pedro Pascal.
We don't, this isn't necessary, right? But I think masking it makes it feel, or tracking it, I should say, makes it feel a little nicer. We're gonna J-cut over here, so we're gonna overlap these 2 pieces maybe by about 3 frames.
Just add ooh.
Yeah, if it sounds fine, like after you've overlapped it, then you've done a good job. You know, if the words are like actually overlapping, kind of like this will be.
Just add.
Like that's obviously too much, but you can get away with maybe as many as like 5 frames depending on the kinds of words. S sounds at the end really allow you a lot of leeway in this sort of thing when you're making J cuts and L cuts. Like H sounds that kind of like hang a little bit are really good to do this sort of thing with. It's such a small thing, but it makes a world of difference, like saving this amount of time. And then like maybe, so I use this wow sound effect all the time. We're talking about cutesy stuff. We're talking about, you know, anime kawaii. We can add like a wow sound effect.
Ooh at the end.
This might be a little loud. Or that by 4.
Just add ooh at the end.
And then we're gonna do like a zoom here, real short zoom, keeping the eyes kind of here-ish. Framing is really important in this sort of way. I come from a film background, so I'm always thinking about things like the on-screen composition, things like that. Honestly, maybe even just a little higher. And then we're gonna add a whoosh, whoosh, baby. Boop, 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 boop. We're gonna put that right at the start here.
Cutesy high voice, like ooh, ooh.
And then the cool thing, here's a little cheat I'm gonna teach you all also. A lot of times if you're doing a zoom like this, you can get away with a lot. I can cover up this kind of dead air here by we're gonna towards all these things, and we're gonna see what this looks like.
Cutesy high voice, like ooh, ooh.
So because we're now zooming in, it's like basically impossible to tell when you're watching it like that we've made a cut at all, because it's close enough, you know.
High voice, like ooh, ooh.
And then yeah, I think that's pretty short and sweet for this one.
Tips and tricks to sound cute when you're Pedro Pascal. Just add ooh at the end, but make sure you do a really cutesy high voice, like ooh, ooh.
All right, so next up we have like 4 from Clara. Now Clara gave me a bunch. She gave me some that she was like, yeah, these ones are doing numbers, and ones that she felt were like lacking. This one was a top performer, I think, for her.
Oh, it's a chicken. Oh, it's a baby chicken. Welcome to the world. Time to learn fast. It's not a kind world. Wham!
In and out, easy. So I think Clara does a lot of good things here. I think sometimes people fall into the trap of this opening screen has to have yes, officer, this short here. I think some people fall into the trap of like, hey, my opening screen has to have me and what's happening in there. But I think a lot of times that, depending on what the content is, that's sort of doing you a disservice, right?
Oh, it's a chicken.
Like, enough is happening here, and this beginning section, before we make a cut, it's just under 2 seconds, so, like, that's great.
Oh, it's a chicken.
There's not really a lot, I mean, just very loose tightening up here. But I like the use of, like, hey, we just cut over here for, like, not even... For, like, this is what? This is literally, like, 9 frames. Like, if you want, this short's already so short as it is. I think it's only 7 seconds, but like, if you wanted to, you could cut out this like very slightly. So that one's like already pretty straightforward. I think I had more to say about, I included so many of yours because each of them had like one small thing I wanted to highlight, but now at this point, I don't remember kind of what they were, so I'm rewatching them and figuring it out. Oh, yeah, okay.
I'm so sorry. It was flying above me. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. If it lands on my face, I'm gonna lose it.
So this one, Clara gave me the context of like a bug flew in. So I think that in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cheat it. We're gonna add a bee in here. And so what I want to make this really sell it is I want the bee to be very cute. I want it to be an extremely cute little bee. Because for me, the juxtaposition of Clara being terrified of like this extremely cute little bee. Look at this bee I found. Look at that little guy. I just found that just now. Okay, so I think, and then I don't know what specifically is happening in the beginning part of this. So this is where we put our thinking caps on a little bit. He's so happy. I'm gonna just go ahead and make cuts every time that Clara has made a cut, because they happen so fast, which is good. So how about this? I think we're gonna kind of juxtapose. Let's also find, I'm gonna just find a picture of ceiling. You know, you'd probably spend a little more time finding a nice picture, but we're just gonna find this cheapy little guy. We have this very small picture of a ceiling. I'm gonna blow it up real crazy. This is a Shutterstock thing, so it's very low res. But the point of this is that like the bee's up in the and I think what would improve this short significantly is if we kind of just, we're gonna cut all these up, baby. We're gonna get rid of here, and here, and okay, so let's put the bee where I think the bee should go. And we're gonna nest the bee. I want the bee to be shaking. So we're gonna type in the shake. This, I know what these shakes, I've used enough of these that I kind of know what sort of shaking they do. So now we can like nest this, and then I did this, but we're actually gonna overwrite what I've done. And so now every time we come to the bee, we're gonna zoom it in a little bit more. And then for this part, maybe for this part, we could kind of like keyframe the bee like, yeah, so let's just stretch this out and then we can kind of just like have fun with it. So this happy little bee, we're gonna start it here. We're gonna kind of end it all the way here, and then in between we're gonna like kind of have some fun. So maybe we like raise it and lower it, and like we raise it again. And this is, we're being real lazy with this one, right? But like,
if it lands on my face, I'm gonna.
And then like for this last one, to kind of sell this joke at the very end, it could be the kind of thing where it is in this last clip specifically, it's like coming towards your face. So, but we're gonna like, so we're gonna nest it so that I can add another shake to this, because I think if it's shaking as it's like coming towards you, I think that's funny.
Face, I'm gonna lose it.
It's like ah! Honestly, I think what I want to do, I think this will be funny as well. Make it real big, and then we're gonna maybe start it here. And then we're gonna lower the opacity of it overall. And then now we have like...
It's flying above me. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate it. If it lands on my face, I'm gonna lose it.
So I feel like that's like... You know, that's sort of like, now it's a whole different short, you know, almost. And, you know, that took us like, 10 minutes maybe. I don't know what the bug, it probably wasn't a bee, but...
I'm gonna lose it.
Just immediately, like, it wants to land on my face, and it's going to. Okay, hell yeah. So now we have, this is also Clara, but with her updated model.
Shared shelter never collapses. That's, I think, ideal, because then we can have way more housing options, and everyone can have little houses. You can sleep with your friends. Not like that. Hold on. You can sleep with your friends, as in you're all in a big tent and you each have your own bed. God dang it.
Forgot to make that big. So this one, you know, we could probably tighten this up a little bit, but specifically what I wanted to point out for this short, I think this is an instance where we kind of hit the funniest part, and then the clip kept going a little bit. So for me,
Housing options, and everyone can have little houses. You can sleep with your friends. Not like that. Hold on. You can sleep with your friends, as in you're all in a big tent and you each have your own bed. God dang it.
It's funny that Clara's like, uh-oh, let me fix this, let me save this. But I think for the purposes of a short,
Not like that. Hold on.
I think just ending it here is like you end on a higher note.
Housing options, and everyone can have little houses. You can sleep with your friends. Not like that. Hold on.
And then it's just like, and then we just get out. You know what I mean?
Sleep with your friends. Not like that. Hold on.
So for me, it's like you want to end on the highest note possible, like at all times. And I think in this instance, it's like, this is, you know, she said the little oopsie, she caught herself,
Not like that.
and then there's like an effect, and then we're just done. Everything after this is funny, but I think it's not as funny as as this section, you know what I mean? I tried to eke out the length for TikTok. Yeah, TikTok's rough. Like, for me, I don't edit for TikTok anymore. TikTok sort of just has its own rules, and I don't really want to, like, play their game, because TikTok's just its own little microcosm, so to speak. I'm kind of like, anytime I'm thinking about, like, what will this edit, like, what's good for this edit, I'm thinking about YouTube and, like, Reels to a lesser extent. Just because, like, what works on TikTok is, like, almost an outlier at this point. Because, like, I don't know. It's, like, sometimes, like, good clips will work on TikTok, like normal, like anywhere else. But, like, also stuff that works on TikTok that won't work anywhere else is, like, you know, the trends, all the sounds and all the trends and all that stuff. And they weight that kind of thing very heavily, because TikTok, more than anybody else, very much is algorithm based. So, like, they take things into account, like, are you using this effect? Are you, because I'm sure you've seen, like, we're seeing it all over now, but, like, I get so many of the Tim Burton AI filter thing right now. I get so, because it is pushing that out, because it is trending, and so I'll get so many accounts. I'll get a video that has like 4 likes on it, and I'll see that so often, because so many people are just doing the filter, and they're not like adding their own spin onto it, or just like whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just like, hey, here's someone, and they got an AI filter, and like, maybe it'll look good, I don't know. And TikTok's like, yeah, more of this, please. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not so... It's hard to... And plus, on top of that, like, TikTok's also just changed the rules. So, like, what is going to be doing better on TikTok going forward is videos that are specifically over a minute long. And I think that is to try and create a divide in between shorts and the reels, because shorts and reels have a 60-second maximum. You cannot make a short for YouTube and for TikTok that is longer than that. But now for TikTok, they're like, you have a 10-minute limit, and if you are in the paid program, I forget, the Creator Fund or whatever it's called, you won't get paid on videos that are shorter than 1 minute. So it's like sort of a disaster, in my opinion. But, like, it's good because, like, it's making TikTok, like, a different place. Like, you'll see, like, that's just normal content, but on your telephone. So if in my opinion, that all kind of sucks, and I don't really want to play TikTok's game, because TikTok is also the least transparent about their policies, and blah, blah, blah. But that's kind of like, you know, when I'm thinking about length and things, it's like, you don't want it to be real short. Like, I don't think, like, YouTube or TikTok anymore likes a 4 to 7 second video. Like, this one from before, like, this did really well. I don't think this video would do as well now, because I just think it's too short. I don't think TikTok likes videos like this anymore. But it used to. It used to be like, you can get a 7-second video, people are going to rewatch it till the cows come home. Yes, please, more. But like, I just think like anything that's short like this, TikTok doesn't really push out anymore unless it's like very, very, very good. So I feel like in a general sense, you want your shorts to be in the ballpark of 25 to, 55 seconds. So then we have, I think, one last one from Clara. Let's see. I don't remember what this one is either.
You make way too many sounds. So what happens when you don't have a lot of friends and you spend a lot of time by yourself? You just start making sounds to fill the crushing silence. And that's why I'm a good streamer. I'm joking. Well, not about the crushing silence and lack of friends parts.
I feel like every video I had a separate thought, but that was yesterday and it's today. So who knows what I was thinking? Maybe, you know what? We can add some, let's add some sound effects. So I have one called Scary Stinger. This might not be right though. Let me see. Yeah, let's try this. Let's add a new spin to this. So yeah, I guess let's punch it up just a little bit. It's really not a lot, but it's just like a few frames here and there. And maybe this can also just be cut down. We get the point. We can get out a little sooner. Maybe even like even you're spinning, but even maybe just like a small zoom. I don't know. Zooms are just funny. I don't know. This is another J-cut thing. See, we're ending on an S sound, and S sounds like you see, we'll get real deep in here. They'll always have, you'll see the friend, and then you have to hear the S, otherwise it's not the same word, but the S just hangs when people speak. So like, this is the whole word of friend, and then right here. So we can really get away with like a lot here. So we're gonna cut this right where that is. And we're gonna go halfway over the S sound here. And let's just see.
Have a lot of friends and you spend a lot of time.
Yeah, so that like we've cleared that up, and we have, we're not wasting a lot of time.
Friends and you spend a lot of time by yourself.
Here is a general tip. So you might look at this stuttering and you'll be like, "Oh, that was this is sort of extreme, but like that was a mistake. It would have been better if I hadn't stuttered there," you might say to yourself, right? But when you're editing and things like this, you could either cut it out if it makes sense. But what I think makes things funnier to do is to like, hey, I've done a less than good thing, or like whatever, right? Let me highlight that instead. So I think, let me like have fun with that. So you have the first "the" here. But, like, if we had... This isn't going to really look that good, but basically, I'm going to try and just cheat it real fast. So if we had, like... If you left the second "the" up there, or the first up there, and then, like, the second "the" kind of came up. Let me cheat this so that it will look the way I want. I hope this works. So we go to Clip, Video Options. We'll add a frame hold there. We are going to... get rid of that, stretch this out. So something like this, something very quick and easy like this. Yeah, that works. Okay, so, but like, you're like, "Oh, I'm stammering. Let me highlight that instead of hiding it." And this is just a very small little thing, but like, I feel like doing things like this kind of across the board consistently can like make your shorts feel more like personable, and then, not like, how to say, like, we're all just here having fun, like, and then it also, on top of that, like, we're now emphasizing the fact that there was a stammer, since those two "thes" as it stood, previously were, like, in the same spot. Like, you could even do a thing where, like, the second "the" is, like, bigger in font size than the first ones, things like that. It's wild how L&J cuts make stuff so much punchier, and they're easy. They're so easy. You just have to, like, people, it makes sense why people would think, like, "Oh, I can only cut out things like this. Why would I do it any other way?" But you gotta think outside the box. You gotta think outside the J and the L, as it were. Yeah, same deal here. I'm gonna cheat we're just gonna do that. And see, like, the E, the sound, like, hangs for so long here.
Silence.
And you can kind of hear it still going, but, like, in the, case by case, like, this sounds okay to me. We're gonna do the thing where we punch in even more for the second one. And then maybe we can do that thing I said before where we spherize. We do like a big brain. Just for like a second. I think like a lot of times, obviously we're getting the words, and then we can add this sound effect. I'm gonna this one gets pretty loud, so I'm gonna lower it.
I'm joking. Well, not about the questioning silence and lack of friends parts.
That got like almost too loud, so I think so we're gonna do a there's a filter called hard limiter, and I use this all the time. Basically this is, if you know how limiter works, it will make it so that whatever, like if you use a limiter in your OBS recording, it'll limit how loud the recording is, right? So if you're screaming into the mic, it'll only ever record at like, you know, -1 decibel or whatever. It won't get any higher than that. You won't peak your audio. But you can do that as a filter in Premiere as well, and then you just set. So normally it'd be like, oh, minus 0.01, so it just never gets to 0, because that's, you don't want it to get to 0, because that's too loud. That's too loud. But a lot of times, like if you're just doing regular editing, you might say -2 to keep everything just sort of leveled. Because of what I'm trying to do with this, I'm gonna actually just we'll say like 12. And then the reason that I'm doing that is because I want you to be able to hear the quiet parts, but I don't want the loud parts to be so loud. So now if I then go in here and kind of we'll lower everything by 6 maybe.
Well, not about the questioning silence and lack of friends.
And then I can see that that's still like way too loud. So let's just say -20. Let's just see what happens.
Well, not about the questioning silence and lack of friends part.
Yeah, so that seemed to help a lot. You won't see any change in the waveform because it's not affecting the waveform. It's just affecting the output.
Well, not about the questioning silence and lack of friends parts.
And then that's a short, and we could add some more sound effects in here, I think. Like, honestly, yeah, like, let's do the my favorite bamboo. Who loves you, baby? It's me. Bamboo, baby.
And that's why I'm a good streamer. I'm joking.
Yeah, so just something like that. I think I'm gonna do this, because even though, like,
I'm a good streamer.
Yeah, there we go. Right on where the word starts. That clip started a couple frames before the word. So now this is the whole thing. This is what we got.
You make way too many sounds. So what happens when you don't have a lot of friends and you spend a lot of time by yourself? You just start making sounds to fill the crushing silence. And that's why I'm a good streamer. I'm joking. Well, not about the crushing silence and lack of friends parts. You make way too many sounds. So what happens when you don't have a lot of friends? You spend a lot of time by yourself. You just start making sounds to fill the crushing silence. And that's why I'm a good streamer. I'm joking. Well, not about the crushing silence and lack of friends parts.
It's just, I've been saying this the whole stream. It's like small things just take you so far. All right, moving on. All right, so this one is from a VTuber called Davidia Storm. Here we go.
Hello, my name's Davidia. You may not know me, but I know you. I know where you live. I know what your phone number is. I even know your social security number. You think you're safe from me? No, you're not.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
All right, so right off the bat, I think at this point we can all sort of agree, like, hey, this one overstayed. This is like a funny thing, but it sort of overstayed its welcome a little bit, right? So realistically, I think like ending, we have the Michael Scott nose in the background, but there are a few things about the sort of like production of this one that we can't really fix, but I'm just sort of gonna address here. So maybe this was a stylized choice. So the first bit like looks like it's been filmed or recorded, I should say, in TikTok format. Yeah, there's also, okay, that's also what's getting me. I see that there's like this frame of like extra stuff in here. So this is just a note on just being careful that things like that aren't happening, because the text starts here, but this feels like a mistake, so this doesn't, so we'll just get rid of it. However, as I was gonna say, like, this feels like it was shot in sort of regular 1920 by 1080, and then we're zooming in, so there's sort of like nothing behind. So this is what I would do in that instance. So let's just pretend that this is the recording, right? So like, if I just was gonna pop this in, like, this is all I'd have. So I have nothing else to kind of go around the front and the back. This doesn't quite fit, but we're just doing an example right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double this clip, right? So we have the same clip on the front and the back. So if I delete this, it's the exact same thing. I'm going to, on the one that's underneath, we're going to blow that up. And we're going to do that same trick as before. So I'm going to blow this up, and then I have my own preset that I made. This is a Gaussian blur and a low opacity. It's like nothing fancy. And now, instantly, we have
Hello,
a background.
My name's Davidia.
Yeah, and it might have been intentional, but the fact that it, like, zooms in like this, so there's just, like, all this black. Like, I think that even if they're sort of doing it that way, so this could be to taste, but, like, this is kind of a suggestion that I would make on this. There's the content on this is fine. I just think that ending it a little with a little more of like a like as intended, this kind of goes on for a while. People are like very likely going to scroll away because now nothing's happening on screen anymore. These are my thoughts on this video from Davidia Storm. Alright, so now we have a big long one. This is from Grey Cat Cafe, and we're gonna watch this. This is almost like, this is over 1.5 minutes, but this is gonna be sort of an example on where it sort of makes sense to trim things and have a story that still makes sense. I think the point of this one was that it was supposed to be a bit longer, so take that with a grain of salt. But there is a lot of like tooling up and a lot of kind of repeated and, in my opinion, my humble opinion, sort of unnecessary things that don't need to be in here and kind of just drag things on a little bit. All right, so here we go. We're just gonna watch this all the way through first.
Wah! Story time. So for those who don't know, I used to work in a pizzeria when I was in high school. You know, your typical first-time job. Being a bright-eyed child, I tried my best to be nice to everyone who came in. Changed like a Subway. But pizza. So you would place the order, then we go down the line, making the order in front of the customer. But they take the order home to cook it. Anyway, that doesn't matter in the story. Instead, I had to explain what is a cookie dough? Let me explain. A fine gentleman came in, slack-jawed, looked at the menu. I patiently stood there waiting for him to order. When I explained the whole idea of the store to him, I asked if he wanted some cookie dough to go with his order. He stared at me and asked very slowly, "What's a cookie dough?" I was very confused and I repeated the question to get the same reply, sadly. "Well, sir, it's what cookies are made with." "I don't get it. Like baby cookies?" "Yes. Like,
yeah, this sounds like a Papa
baby
Murphy's.
cookies."
We have those here.
After the order was made, the man talked to my manager and said I was dumb trying to sell baby cookies. Instead of what? Adult cookies? What does that mean? Anyway, I have a few more stories to share with y'all, and if you like this, be sure to like, share, and comment down below your job nightmares. Who knows? I might make it a series to read y'all's comments. Have an awesome day, and see you at the cafe.
Woo! Alright, so the resolution of this story was that the guy went to the manager and complained because it's stupid to sell baby cookies, is I guess what happened. This is like pretty significantly too long in my opinion. So what we're gonna do is find out what the meat of this is. So I think that we can get rid of almost all of this intro, but we kind of have to see, because especially when they themselves say like, oh, that doesn't matter in the story, it's like that doesn't instill me with like a ton of confidence. If we started it here, like, I think that it doesn't matter that this guy works at a Papa Murphy's. I'm assuming it's a Papa Murphy's. Papa Murphy's is take and bake. They don't have them everywhere, but the idea is that you order a pizza and then they just make it and then you take it home and you put it in your oven. So they also sell things like cookie dough and like whatever else, right? So you know what I mean? So like the fact that this guy works at a Papa Murphy's doesn't matter. The crux of the story is that a man came in and didn't know what cookie dough is, right? So like we could just immediately, I'm going to cut out like all of this beginning stuff, except for
Story time.
People like it when you say story time. They stick around when you say story time. TikTok has trick-talked us into this. If you're gonna mention where you come from, make it like really fast. Yeah, you gotta get to the meat like right away.
Story time. A fine gentleman.
Like you don't even need the moi, but we're gonna leave it. It's movement. Like, I might, we might use the slip tool here, Y on the keyboard, to kind of, like, cheat it a little bit.
Story time.
Like, the mouth doesn't really make sense, but, like, it doesn't really work a lot of times on VTuber models just anyway, so you can cheat a lot with dialogue on VTubing stuff specifically.
Story time.
So we don't need any of this. We patiently waited. I explained the idea of the store to him. That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. We could immediately say, like, it doesn't matter where he works, because we just care about this cookie dough thing. I also feel very strongly that, like, things like this, where somebody is saying something crucial to the story. So this is the whole thing. It's that he asks, what's a cookie dough? So for me, I'm reading ahead, so this is spoiled before we get to the punchline. So, like, I would have split up these two captions, right? But additionally, like, you can really punch in, and then it just says, what's a cookie dough? And then maybe, like, a vine boom. Vine boom, boom, you know?
Slowly. What's a cookie dough?
And we start right here. I was very confused. We don't need this part either, I think. We don't need that he asked again. We can just get to, I was very confused, well, sir. So we'll cut out all this. There's only so much we have to work with. This doesn't sound incredible anymore. But, you know, like, if you had the raw stuff, you could make this work.
I was very confused. Well, sir, it's what cookies are made with.
I think this is also an instance where you can, like, the repetition of sound effects is going to be funny here. So we'll do a little bit of a cut there. And then we'll add another vine boom.
I don't get it.
And then he says something even more ridiculous. So we can put, like, the bamboo. And that'll cut off. That'll also prematurely cut off the boom, which is always funny. Shortcut to comedy.
Made with. I don't get it. Like baby cook.
We'll zoom this guy in too.
Made with. I don't get it. Like baby cookies.
This is like, I don't really get this joke personally. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like if we did something more akin to frame hold here, we could put some crickets. We can then take this clip, do a slow zoom, assuming that we had, like, the raw video. We're really doing fast and loose with what we have here, right? Okay, we're gonna do the other bamboo here. So now we have, like,
cookies are made with. I don't get it. Like baby cookies.
So that's also fast. It gets the point across. You know what? Let's do that cheat I was talking about a second ago. Let's unclip this, unlink that. So we're gonna cheat this audio over. Their mouth isn't moving, but having this gap between those two words is, like, kind of too long for me, and I don't want to have multiple cuts after this long hang.
Yes. Like baby cookie.
Oh, that was a little too close. So then we can punch in here a little bit. So if it helps with telling jokes, I get a lot. I received a lot of, in that vein, Sakura, I received a lot of shorts on my Twitter post about this that were saying stuff like, for context, this, that, and the other. And I'm just sort of like, in my mind, I'm like, if you need to tell me that I need context for this, we're already starting off on a pretty bad foot. You know what I mean? I should be able to understand everything in your short without outside information, and you know, unless it's like a niche thing, like earlier, like it was for an audience of Monster Hunter people that understand, you understand what I mean. That's a little different. But, like, if I don't know, if I need explanation on, like, oh, my friend did this, and then we got here, it's like, okay, you need to have all that context in there. I just don't feel like this is I don't think this is just quite hitting the mark that they intended it to, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. It feels like a distraction more than an emphasis on the joke, I guess. Similar to the Clara clip from earlier, we're gonna get out on the strongest point, because at its core, this is a funny story, you know what I mean? But I think just the long-winded nature of telling it kind of got in its own way a little bit. So we're just gonna end it here, and then all this other stuff, like, oh, I might do more of these, like, comment down below that the people don't stay for that, so we're just gonna get rid of that. So we're gonna make this real snappy. Let's we'll put the fourth bamboo
cookies instead of what? Adult cookies? What does that mean?
And then I think we're gonna kind of, like, emphasize, like, how frustrated they're getting. So we're gonna put this static. No, this static also gets a lot of work. We can add a shake to this. This is gonna be a pretty intense shake.
Cookies? What does that mean?
we're gonna add some red to this. So we're gonna make a color matte. It'll default to whatever timeline you're in, so you just hit OK. I'm gonna make it just bright red. You name it whatever you want, but I just always name them red matte or whatever color. And so now we have this red matte here. I'm gonna lower the opacity of it. And so now
baby cookies instead of what? Adult cookies? What does that mean?
So that like really emphasizes like, ooh, I'm angry. I'm so angry about this situation. So now, what is this? It's 7 seconds. So now this is, we took an hour or a minute and a half-ish plus clip and got it down to 30 seconds. So let's see what we got now.
Wow. Story time. A fine gentleman came in, slack-jawed, looked at the menu. I asked if he wanted some cookie dough to go with his order. He stared at me and asked very slowly, "What's a cookie dough?" I was very confused. Well, sir, it's what cookies are made with. I don't get it. Like baby cookies? Yes. Like baby cookies. After the order was made, the man talked to my manager and said I was dumb trying to sell baby cookies. Instead of what? Adult cookies? What does that mean?
And there you have it. That is every important piece of that story condensed down without, like, do you feel like you missed any context that we needed from the old version? You know what I mean? So thinking about your stories in this way, it's like, does this information need to be relayed to the audience? Like, yes or no? This one was sent in not by Lulu, but by Lulu's editor, Isaac Cannonball. Let's take a look at this one. Quick question. How would you handle calls to action? It's real tough because I think like it's hard to get them in before people will scroll away. It used to be a long time ago, you used to be able to kind of like, how do I say? You used to be able to put like a little end card and that like worked and that made sense. But that was before video completion became a metric. I think it's sort of human nature that if people sense that your video is about to end, that they will scroll away. They don't care what's at the end unless it's content still. Like, I think it's kind of tough. I think if your video is about a call to action, then that, like, if it's about a specific thing, if it's not just the call to action isn't just like and subscribe, you know what I mean? I think it's tough. I almost would just say to omit them entirely, just because I don't know how much they work just in a general sense, but then like if you're spending time on that, then your short's gonna kind of do worse as a result. Just on a metrics level, you know what I mean? So it's sort of rough. I also see, and I don't really, you don't see this too often. I feel like with new streamers, and I'm also guilty of this myself, of putting your, like if this was Lulu, right? Like having her Twitch like handle on the screen at all times. I think we're at a point now where people understand what they're watching. They understand like, hey, this is a clip from a stream or something. Like, this is a content creator. Like, if they want to know more, they'll go to your, account. Like, having it on screen is, all it's doing is really taking up real estate, in my opinion. That might be a slightly more hot take, but that's just sort of my feeling on things. Do I edit gameplay videos? I edit whatever. I edit whatever, baby. I do it all. So we're gonna watch this, from Isaac Cannibal of, I don't know how to pronounce their name. It's Kuramia Lucian. Lulu.
So you're telling me that in Honkai Star Rail, they have mastered space travel with Thomas the Tank Engine, but weapons upgrade material is Polaroid pictures and film rolls? Huh?
So this is like one of these ones that I feel like is very close. It's like almost there. We're gonna see about trimming it up. Missed opportunity for a face to be on Thomas. We can make that happen. I haven't played Honkai, so I don't know how funny this image is. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny in a vacuum to me, but I don't have like the context. Yeah, we'll just kind of cut into here, getting rid of a little bit of this. We can try and do that, honestly. We can that right there ish, and then yeah, we can we can like do this sort of a thing. We'll change the let's tick off uniform scale, and then we're gonna change the height. Gonna rotate. This would be very funny. Like, it's the only problem with this is that it is sort of ruining the joke that this is like a Thomas the Tank Engine thing up there. So, there's that to consider. Like, this could be funny. Assuming it's not down there, of course. That now it looks ridiculous, but that's sort of the idea. And we are gonna, you better believe we're using the bamboos here, baby. They are so versatile. So we're gonna kind of do some zoomies here. Not the regular kind of cat zoomies, but still fun. You'll notice a lot of the things that I think are funny are things that I keep doing. Yeah, honestly, like, you probably don't even need her in this. I think you're right. Like, it's fine to have her there in the corner, but like, it doesn't add any fun. Like, the funny is this, and if this wasn't there, then like, or even though that it is there, like, this is just a static image also to which is something I really don't like ever having in here. I think for when your VTuber is talking, it's completely fine to have it be non-moving, so to speak. But like, basically any pictures, like, I want to see some movement. Like, just a little bit of movement goes so far. So I know that this isn't going to make the film rolls look nice, but we can, like, and then for this, I feel like we zoom in. So Bamboo 1, Bamboo 2, two silly things right in a row.
Material is Polaroid pictures and film rolls. Is Polaroid pictures and film rolls.
And then for this one, her the kind of the scream at the end starts becoming very funny. So I want to cut while she's still making that noise. Honestly, I think so we're gonna nest this last piece because I want to make this very last part shake because I think that's gonna make this even funnier. Yeah. When you, I don't know what it is about the shake, but it really just like it's like, oh, you're not expecting it, and then it's over before you can even really think about it. Okay, so let's see what we are looking at now.
So you're telling me that in Honkai Star Rail, they have mastered space travel with Thomas the Tank Engine, but weapons upgrade material is Polaroid pictures and film rolls.
We're in, we're out. We don't waste any time. That's what I like. Hey, that's all. Thanks for watching, folks. Please don't forget to leave your shorts in the comments below. And here's another video where I explain how to get started with the free editing program, DaVinci Resolve.